Kasia Woźniak, mama I STETOSKOP, zawitała dzisiaj u nas na fotelu. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
I usually don't start with Polish. I don't do Polish introductions. But this time I decided I will do an introduction in Polish because we're both Polish.
To make me feel more comfortable?
Maybe.
Okay.
But also for people to let them know that we won't be talking in Polish. And they might think, well, they might ask themselves why. You know, there are two Polish people sitting in front of each other and they're about to have a conversation in English. I want to say, this is not a show of competition. We're here to break down the language barriers, to go out of our comfort zones.
Yes, we are. And I have a real huge barrier with talking in English.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's far away from my comfort zone.
It's a challenge, but you like a challenge. And I'm happy you decided to come. Because at first you didn't agree to come.
Yeah.
But with time, you decided, you sent me a message and you decided you're ready.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Kasia Woźniak. It usually doesn't happen that I pick up a book and I read it and I'm just drawn to it. I get hooked from it, you know? And I read the first page and I was like, okay, this is something that really interesting. And then I thought to myself, is it that interesting? Because maybe I need to prepare myself for an interview. That's why I'm interested in it so much, because it took me one day to go through it. This is the book that I'm talking about. Następny, kim jest człowiek, który cię leczy.
Yeah.
Book of yours.
In Polish.
It's in Polish, indeed. So I had to translate everything into English. It shows the realities of young doctors. It's a fiction book, but also depends how you...
It's fiction book, but based on true, because it's like the reality of all medics, not only doctors.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to work in Poland in public, in national healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few years of at first studies, then working in a hospital, in clinic, I decided to move my experience to the paper.
Mm-hmm. Shed some light, we say in English, like put it in the perspective, show the reality, different perspective. Because when we look at public healthcare, we often look at it from patient perspective, right?
Yeah.
That we have to wait in line for so long, that it takes so long, you know, and we never take into account the other side.
Yeah, there is like completely other world in the other side of the desk.
Yes.
In doctor's office. And
we will be talking about this, among other things today. But before we start, I'm going to start with pytanie od patrona.
Okay.
And I'm going to read it. How in the hell did she find so much strength and determination to complete her medical studies while being pregnant with one child first and later with another one? Honestly, I'm dying to know. So please tell us.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, because it was really hard time for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't recommend this idea to anyone, because it was really hard. And nowadays, when I compare my maternity that time and my maternity now, when I have much time for my kid, much money for everything, so it's a hard question, and there is no
an easy answer.
An easy answer.
But did you receive any help from husband, apart from husband?
Yeah, from my
parents?
husband a lot. We were together in every day's reality.
Mm-hmm.
We also had nanny.
That helps.
Yeah, a lot. But she came just for an hour that I have to leave home to join lessons during studies. We also have some help from our parents, but they live in different city. And they are still working. So it was like help during weekends or during holidays, not the everyday.
And I always admire people like this because I'm dying to have kids on my own. I already have this perspective of like having 3 kids in the future. But if it happened now, I wouldn't be able to deliver because it's a full-time job.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It's like you have 2 jobs, and when you leave the first one, you came to
Enter
the other.
the second one.
Yeah, and that's all day. I think sometimes I think about when I will have time for myself, and like it starts around 9 p.m. And then I'm like near to dying after work, after the house duties and duties connected with 3 kids. So it's not easy now, and it was much harder before during studies.
Well, today is your free day because you decided to come here all the way from home, which is 240 kilometers.
It was really nice 2 hours in the car that I didn't have to do anything, just
worry about work,
drink coffee, listen to some podcasts.
And preparing for this one.
Yeah, a bit. Being a bit stressed.
No, there's no need to be stressed.
It's hard to talk in English,
I know.
really, for everyone, but I decided to break through this wall and try to do this because during my days I have like nearly no time and no chances to speak in English. I'm trying to watch some movies in English.
It's a good way to learn a language.
Yeah, and when I watch with subtitles, I understand everything. Without subtitles, near to everything. But I'm glad you speak very not so fast, and it's easy for me to understand everything.
And I'm glad you decided to come because it is going out of your comfort zone, as I said, but also without that step.
Yeah, if we won't do this, I and no one will never learn to speak fluently.
Exactly. So this is it. It's also making mistakes. And I also want to highlight that before we get into you.
It's the same with having kids. You will make a lot of mistakes.
Along the way.
Yeah.
Hundreds of mistakes.
Hundreds. But, without trying, so you won't do anything. So it's like for everyone, it's hard to have the first kid, especially. Later, it's a bit easier. It doesn't matter if you are a student, if you are a worker, if you have no job. Every kind of living have different problems. You have to not enough time for kids. You have not enough money. You have not enough energy, not enough emotional capability, because it's also it's job not only physically but also
mentally.
Yeah, it's hard. But I think comparing having kids with working as a doctor, the second one is worse.
Partnerem podcastu jest Tutlo, szkoła angielskiego online, która tak jak ja pomaga przełamywać bariery w mówieniu. Is it also true you created your Instagram account while breastfeeding your child and being bored? I want to know more.
It is. It was 8 or 9 years ago. I was a student. I think it was nearly end of my medical studies. It was 5th or 4th year. And I had the second son, and I had also long holidays during 2 years of studying. And then my younger brother showed me show or shown.
Showed?
I'm not
Shown,
sure about the grammar. He showed me his Instagram account, and that time before it's hard to believe, but I didn't hear about Instagram. I was so focused to manage with everything during my routine on learning kids that I have no time for like normal student life, for being on social media. So like when I started, I never had time that I was just consuming social media. I started to create in the same time. At first, I show like
your daily life.
my daily life. That's good. The
Expression.
Great. Thank
There
you.
you go. So that's how it started, right? You showed the daily life.
I showed my daily life.
And then you started educating along the way.
I told that I'm nearly to be the doctor, and it's possible to make something else, not only to study. Because I have many friends that were working and studying. That I think I knew two girls besides me who also have kids during studies. And it's possible to become a doctor after some years, because later you have a family, you start some other job, and many people think, is it possible? So at first I was trying to show that it is possible. But shortly after my account
got bigger.
I received many medical questions. And that was time that I started to educate.
A bigger audience, right? You don't limit yourself to a classroom. It's
and
hundreds, thousands of people.
It was for me even hard to believe that my teachers, when they have their lecture, they educate about
30, 40 people.
Maybe. And I'm, as a student, no one, I could educate 1,000 in 2 minutes.
What a contrast, right?
It was strange, really, at the beginning. And I think I spent many evenings writing blog posts, because at first I started also with blog. That was the era of blogging. And some short posts on Instagram, also connected with medicine. It was also very good for me to develop and to grow in medicine, because
definitely.
I think students, they are not, they don't know what real people have, in what field the real people have problems in medicine. And I've started to receive questions, and it's shown me what is important for people. For example, there is always many questions about kids' health, about mental health, about how to deal with problems like more mentally, more physically, what to do with your physically symptoms of stress, how to recognize them, and all connected with illnesses that are connected to our fast lives.
Definitely. To the connected world, right? That we live in.
During studies, you learn about Raynaud syndrome. And really, it is important, but it's rare. and you are not focused on problems that
occur on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
You get the theory about
about everything, about very rare disease, but you are not so sure what will be the basic problems of your patients.
So you omit that problem of, as you said, of the basic problems. We will be getting into that, and I think you're entering a very important topic, which is the system itself.
It's hard, even in Polish, to discuss about the system, because it's very complex. I'd like to say in the beginning that we will touch just the surface, and there is much
more to discuss, much more to it.
Yeah, below.
Yeah. When you're a student of medicine, you're this idealist. Yeah, you want to fix the world, right?
Really? Yeah, it is. And I think it is good in one way, but also it caused for me fast burnout because I was trying too hard when I start my job, and sometimes patients came to your office. They just want the receipt, nothing more. Not to tell, not just all talking about the lifestyle and everything. They just have one simple problem, and they don't want to make bigger changes. That it's bad, but it's true. And I was trying to do the ideal consultation with everyone, even though they don't want this.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? They didn't want this in the first place, and you're trying to fix it. How can you fix it?
It was like it caused my burnout.
So you get this reality check, right?
Yeah.
That
it was like
it hits you.
It was like hitting the wall.
How was it for you? I want to delve deeper into that, right? Because you're this idealist, and then your vision changes.
I think
immediately, in the blink of an eye, it changes.
It wasn't the blink. It was like a few months or even years of struggling to do this, because you have to. But later I decided to quit working in public healthcare. It is hard because I'm still a bit idealistic, but I'm also realistic now, and I'm trying my best in my own system.
We'll be getting into your system later on because I think it's really intriguing. But about the system itself, the Polish public healthcare system, let's go one by one. What are the main challenges it faces nowadays? I know the list is long.
There is too little time, too little doctors, too little money. There is money and on every aspects of life, unfortunately, because at the beginning of our conversation, you talk about the queue, about the line to doctor's office, and it is caused by lack of doctors, lack of specialists, lack of good specialists also.
I'm going to interrupt you. I also see this paradox.
Yeah.
That you want to become specialized in one thing. You wanted to become specialized in GP, right? The general...
family medicine.
General practitioning, I think it's called. And you couldn't.
After some years I could, but then I decided to quit.
Yeah, but the beginnings, right? It was hard that you want to specialize. There is a shortage of doctors.
There was no place in my whole city then when I was trying to start the
specialization.
Thank you.
There you go. Difficult word.
Yeah, it is. After some time, I could, but then
You decided not
yeah.
to.
So
But about this waiting, medycyna czekania, right? This is the phrase that pops up.
yeah, it's connected to studying, because during medical studies you often have to wait, like the patients, because doctors who are responsible for students, they also work with patients on hospital wards. So if they are doing something with patients, the students have to wait for their time. It's
just that, right?
it's connected to lack of doctors. Some years ago, our government decided to make more medical universities, just put some more universities in a few cities, and then we will solve the problem. But we won't, because there is no plan to change more in the system, to make young doctors way to specialist, to become specialist, to learn new things. Because I think it's important when you are doing your specialty. It's like normal, regular job, but in a place that it's kind of place with certificate. And it's very common that you are working with in one place, for example, for 2, 4 or 5 years, and there is no certification for that place. And after a few years, the government give the certification, and then the clock of your specialty start. And you are working the same as previous.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It's very complex.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. The hierarchy.
In hospital,
yes.
you ask.
What does it look like? Because I feel like this is also the problem, right? That young students are often mistreated and overlooked.
Yeah.
What does the hierarchy look like in a hospital?
It's not everywhere. It's not everyone meets not every student met the problem, but it's occurred.
So we have different levels, right? Usually.
Yeah, there is students, there is
nurses.
Nurses also. I thought about different stages of doctors' development.
So we have students, then we have
don't know. Yeah, intern,
right?
it could be. And then during specialty, intern. And then specialists, and then
the doctor.
Professors maybe. So there is like very strict hierarchy.
Yeah. And it's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
But when you have respect for everyone. I think many people that they are, sorry, it's hard theme. Many people faced that problem. And when, for example, talk about maybe a professor, he or she was working for 50 years to become a professor. And during that years, he met bullying. He met himself. He was bullied. Yeah, he was bullied. He was the victim. He had to make like a thick skin. He faced many problems and forget about his start.
Yeah.
So after that years, he do the same.
He does the same to people.
Yeah.
It's the I'm missing a word, like schemat. That's repeating.
It's like
over and over again. You can't break from it.
It's not translate. It's like a transition of trauma. There is something in psychology, and that I think in English it
You
could
pass
be
it on
yeah.
to different generations.
Yeah, and it's a bit similar in my opinion.
Can we break from it? It's a very optimistic view, but can we break from it?
You know, everything is possible. Sky is the limit. But it's hard.
Yeah. I always wonder, why is it so present, right? Just to be kind to another human being.
It is similar in many places, not only in medical world.
Mm-hmm. That you look down on somebody.
Yeah.
And they're trying their best.
But I think in medical world, it's hard because you're under a big pressure. You are working with hard problems. You have to be very careful. The patients will go to the judge if you do something wrong.
Everything needs to be formal.
Yeah, it's very stressful, and also you have to do everything quickly because there is a queue. You have 5 or 10 minutes for a patient.
Even less.
Sometimes, so it's like near to impossible to do everything in ideal way, and more. What's more, you also have some kind of old doctors that told you are garbage.
Yeah. Has this happened to you?
Oh, we could change the subject
Yeah,
of that.
let's do that. We have a certain vision of doctor's life. You watch Grey's Anatomy. You feel like this is it. This is what I want to be. It's so easy, like, you know, not easy, but like it's so enjoyable.
But as you see, they nearly never show these doctors from movies in home.
That's true.
Do they
It's
go?
just their life.
Do they go home?
No, this is their life. They live in the hospital.
Maybe they never
leave the
go
hospital.
for foreign holidays. They never.
Yeah.
Sometimes the movies show the woman during pregnancy, and after pregnancy, she's working like there's nothing nothing changed in her life.
Yeah.
But the change is present in real world.
Yeah, in Grey's Anatomy, because that was my favorite medical series. I was watching it, and I really wanted to be a doctor one day. Actually, they have the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Dr. Bailey, she tells them at the beginning, there is 5 rules you should abide by. You know, she marks her territory.
To be honest, I never watched like a full Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
I was a fan of Dr. House.
But it's also certain vision of that.
Yeah.
Right. That it's.
But in that movies, it was a bit because House was very intelligent.
He was dealing with like all those rare diseases, right?
And it's hard to work with people that even though if you have some ideas to make something different, to make something maybe better, there's no chances for you to make any change. I think in House...
But he's also treating them like garbage.
Yeah,
from time to time.
I think he would be happy if they will make some good changes. If it would be like smart, make his work easier. In reality, often we have status quo, and it
exists.
Yeah,
and it's unbreakable. Seems like it sometimes. You need to sacrifice a lot, and this is what we can see in reading your book. You're either a martyr or a dick. I maybe gave too much of a spoiler. You tell me later if you wanna.
There's also I wrote about the third group of doctors that they want to change something.
They want to fight.
Yeah, so you don't have to be neither the, as you said.
Neither the two, yeah.
But you also can fight, but this fight is very also harmful to you.
To your health, to your relations, to your mental health.
Yeah,
Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
Because we often see doctors as machines.
They are not. Many doctors faced mental health problems.
But it's not spoken about. Why would you talk about that?
I think in my bubble, in doctors' world, it is spoken about, but they
not outside.
Yeah. I think many doctors they are thinking if they tell that they have problems with depression.
It's a weakness, right?
Maybe, but the patients will think he's not trustable.
Oh yeah, you cannot trust him.
Yeah. It's something wrong with him. But in my opinion, it's not. I also had problems with mental health a few years ago. That was one thing that caused my resignation of working in public sector. And I think talking about this, it's very good. And it's helpful to lots of patients.
Yeah, to understand that there is another human being on the other side of the desk. Because you struggled with depression yourself, you say it out loud. You also say that at the beginning you didn't want to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You diagnosed yourself.
It's not something that you should do. It was wrong that what I made, but it's true.
You diagnosed yourself.
Yeah, and I wrote myself a prescription for meds.
And then your husband went to the pharmacy
and
to get it
even
for you.
I have no courage to buy
to get the
meds. Yeah, and after a few months, it helped me a lot. And after a few months, I thought that, okay, meds is good, but what next? I'm afraid about quitting meds because I'm afraid that my feeling, my sadness will come back. Yeah. And that was the moment I start psychotherapy. And it was great, in my opinion. It helped me a lot. After a few months of psychotherapy, I and pharmacology treatment of my depression. And a few months later, I also ended psychotherapy.
It's not spoken about yet within the professional aspect. I mean, they don't teach about emotions at the university level. They don't teach about emotional intelligence, how to talk to patients.
There's no time for emotions. You have to do the exam, learn quickly. You have the next exercise, the next exam. And even though I'm the generation of doctors that had the communication lessons during studies, and it was great. We even have actress.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, you have the task to give an actor, for example, bad information, and you at first your teacher show what to do, what is important. For example, to make it clear, not to use too much. Yeah, not to use too much medical words. To start with the information, you have some bad information. You have to sit down, find safe space for patient, not do it in the corridor.
Yeah.
And after, every students have to do a bit similar but different scenario with the actor. For example, you have to tell someone that his relative is very ill, or he has cancer or different disease in results. And you are talking to an actor, you're alone in a room, and your all colleagues and your teacher,
they're listening.
Yeah, they are in different side of the mirror, and you couldn't see them, but they see you. Yeah,
you're an actor.
You have to be an actor and a real doctor, even though you're a student. It was great lessons. It was very fun to look on my colleagues. So we had much laugh during them. I believe it was stressful for somebody. It wasn't stressful for me, but I know that.
Okay, you surprised me here because I didn't know it was being taught.
Yeah, in my university
acting.
in Lublin.
Okay.
We
go
have,
Lublin.
It was very great lessons. During when I was student, I think they are a waste of time, to be honest, because I have so much learn to do. It took so much
studies to do and read all those things.
Yeah, and I have in home like kids. What I will do? I will speak to an actors. What's the waste of time? But after years, now like nearly 10 years later, I think that was one of the most important thing.
This emotional intelligence that you also gain, soft skills, because doctors have hard skills, right? You need to know how to operate, for example. I'm talking like surgeons. To give an example, they need to know that. But you should also know how to talk. The question is, are all the doctors, do they have to be good psychologists, or where is the line? You see what I mean? It's a difficult question. I don't know. They have to be
good people. They don't have to be real psychologists and to speak a lot with patients, but they have to
have empathy,
have feeling, have the heart, and just be pleasant, communicative. And I think it's not hard, but you have to find a bit empathy and time.
I think all doctors are actors, in a way. And let me tell you this analogy that I have. We're in the theater. You wear scrubs. This is your costume. You need to hide your emotions because you need to deliver job.
But are you sure you have to hide your emotion?
Ideally, you wouldn't, but I think there is a big, as you said, expectation and pressure to do so.
Okay. Because in my opinion,
the system, you don't have to.
No.
You can show all the emotions to the patients. Where's the fine line? Cienka granica, fine line. Where does it end? You see what I mean? Like, this is the question I'm asking myself. Because I think if you show too many emotions, you're vulnerable.
Maybe.
This is how people see it, unfortunately. I'm just saying the facts how it is now, and hopefully we can change that system as we go. But for me, this is a bit of a play. You interact with patients. You wear scrubs, costume. That's how I see it. And you wear mask, literal mask.
Maybe a bit. I never thought about this analogy before.
Okay. Now, looking back, do you feel like you were wearing mask at times and you had to take off that mask at home, or?
I think in doctor's office, I'm just a professionalist, and it's a bit different version of me, but it is still me. So I'm not feeling like an actress. It is just a professional Kasia, and in home I'm home Kasia.
So you can separate the two.
A bit, maybe.
Yeah. It's difficult topics we are discussing, because I think you can't. But again, I'm saying it from my perspective, from an outsider perspective. Like, to give you an example, right? I'm a journalist. I cannot compare, but
Why not?
Yeah, okay, let's compare. I live the life of a journalist when I'm at home. Like, I read stuff. I think of
So it's
things.
similar. It's similar. You also bring your job to home. And it's hard to quit the job, really, because your brain stay with some patients, and you analyze that if you ask about everything, what was important, if you think about every scenario of the illness, so your brain
constantly think.
Yeah, it is.
The system, we were going to be ending this soon, but you say that the change is difficult and that you don't see many materialistic, let me put it this way, solutions for that, because there is a huge sacrifice from the doctors.
The change is always possible, but it's just hard. Because in my opinion, you have to switch the whole system. It's not like an easy and simple change to do, because we are after years of make this badly.
All of these challenges that we talked about, it affects you as a person. You're not a robot. You're not a machine. You're a human being that comes home and processes everything that's happening. And we already discussed that, right, with the depression. But I want to talk about depression, but not necessarily connected to you, maybe, but in general, from a perspective of an expert, of a doctor. Why is it so present, omnipresent? Because for me, this is epidemics. Let's talk about, we're going to be talking about obesity.
We have
both
also
of these things.
Obesity epidemic and also the mental health problems epidemic. It's not only depression, it's also anxiety. It's
PTSD, maybe, all those.
Also, but it's not so common, but it is present also. You ask about depression, maybe focused on mental health generally.
Let's focus on mental health generally.
We doesn't spend enough time to care about ourselves. We focused on media, on our jobs, on our, even neighbors, relatives, and you forget about yourself.
The most important person in your life, if you think about it.
So that's the first thing. The second, the mental health is strictly connected with physical health. And you have to take care about what you're eating, about
sleeping,
exercise,
schedule,
about sleep, because the lack of sleep, for example, it's the easiest way to start some, at first,
to
problems.
Having symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Feeling bad, feeling down.
Feeling tired, feeling exhausted, and later the about negative thinking and depression. It's a bit further, but it is also present.
Pytanie od patrona related to this one. How has your experience with depression changed your approach to taking care of mental health? Because I think it has a tremendous impact. If you experience such things, you look at things differently. Am I right?
I think every doctors, every medical staff that have some problems with some kind of disease. It's not always mental disease. It's
any disease, really.
Any
We're human
disease.
beings.
When you become a patient for some time, you start to change the thinking and change your way of treating patients. You become more patient to patient. and just you know what they are feeling.
You connect with them.
Yeah, for me, it showed me the strength of connecting psychiatry with psychology, and connecting, taking care of patient by the whole team of specialists.
That's what you do.
Yeah, I am.
And we will be talking about that in a second. But the second part of question from the patron. Where should we start in a state when we don't even think that things could get better? Where do you start?
When you have so deep depression?
Deep down. Where do you even start? And it's somebody's asking that question. These are questions that people ask on a daily basis. Where do you start?
That's kind of questions you are faced every day in doctor's office. Really, it's so common. So, like for me, it's every step is good. Every step that you have strength to do. It could be talk with your family. It could be just go to GP, but pick the right one. It could be just the consultation with a psychiatrist. So
choose what's right for you.
Yeah, choose one and do one, and this specialist will tell you what to do next. If you need meds, or if you need therapy, if you need just holiday.
In one of the interviews with Journalista, you said that one of your ambitions to fulfill your ambitions is to open your mental health clinic.
Yeah,
what's stopping you from doing it, or is it a goal for the future?
It's nothing is stopping me, and it's not a goal. It's becoming now.
It's becoming now.
Yeah, I'm opening my clinic in Lublin in March.
Did you talk about it openly? On your social media?
Yeah.
Did I not do a proper research for this one?
I thought it will be a surprise for you.
It is a surprise. In March this year.
Yeah.
It's opening in Lublin.
It's like just a few days in front of me.
It's one of the dreams coming true, isn't it?
It will be Zapytaj lekarza, clinic of mental health and treatment obesity.
So you're going to combine both, because both things also are connected.
It will be for patients with troubles with mental health, and also to patients with obesity, because a real good treatment of obesity is the connection of doctor, dietitian, and psychology.
We're going to be talking about this now. So what you do with Zapytaj lekarza, you combine different experts from different domains, right? So you have dietitians, you have doctors, you have psychologists.
Yeah, a lot of psychologists.
So
it's so common to have troubles.
Approach to it, right?
We, as a start, we start from doctors, and as a start, I was the only one doctor in Zapytaj lekarza. But after years, our team starts to grow. I found specialists that are really keen on medicine, and they have similar view to medicine like me. And we are working together. During first 5 years in Zapytaj lekarza, we were just doing things only online. So we have patients from whole Poland, or even foreign patients. We have GPs, we have psychiatrists, psychologists, dietitian, a lot of kind of specialists. But after these few years, we are started to open first Zapytaj lekarza stationary point, and it will be in Lublin, because I live near to Lublin, and a huge part of our team is in Lublin, so it will be the same people. It will be the same people who are working with patients online.
Perfect. really keeping my fingers crossed. It's going to be...
Yeah, I will send you the invite for...
opening day?
Yeah, for ceremony.
Please do. I'll be there. I'll be in America, South America.
I think the party, it will be a bit later.
Okay, then I'll come.
Yeah.
Look, obesity.
Okay.
We can look at the statistics. It's also epidemic. It's happening around the world. Not only the US, as we think usually, it's also the case in Poland.
It is. Nearly half of our society have a trouble with overweight or obesity.
What are the best ways of fighting it? What can we do?
At first, change lifestyle, change habits. But sometimes it's not enough. And there we have a resolution for people who can't do this alone, who have maybe lack of dietitian knowledge, have hormone problems.
Yes, because one of the misconceptions is that you are obese because you eat too much.
Or you're obese because you're lazy.
Lazy. You don't do sports, you're obese. It's not the case, right?
It's so harmful to people. Obesity, it is one of illness that is very... people think in negative way when they think about someone with obesity. They think he's or she is stupid. He's lazy. Yeah. He is maybe funny. It's harmful to that people because it's just people.
It's just people,
right? Just people with illness.
Yeah.
You won't think about someone with cancer that he's lazy. So why do this harm to these patients?
People, yeah. You offer full consultation, right? So it's not just prescribing things?
No, it's a bad way of treatment obesity, just to use meds and nothing more. It's like the simplest way to yo-yo effect, because you need to make it in a very balanced way to start the treatment, to end the treatment, what to do during. It's hard way, and it's important to have support. And we give our patient a support.
Online support, and now it's going to be
Now it will be also first stationary in Lublin, but you can have great result doing this online, because you're meeting...
It's this, right? It's getting to know the patients. It's being empathetic. It's being open, non-judgmental. Also, because that person needs to open up.
Like for me, in my experience, during obesity consultation, patients very often cry. It's similar to conversation with patients that have problems with mental health. During first consultation, patients often cry. During obesity consultation also, because they are people who have problems for a long years, and they are after some kind of traumas due to other people react on them, due to hearing a lot that you have to eat less and everything will be fine. No, it's not so simple. If it was simple, we won't have obesity epidemic.
And it's happening in front of our very eyes. You say that you can establish a nice and a more meaningful connection through telecommunications, not necessarily face-to-face.
Yeah.
How so?
Patient see the doctor, doctor see the patient. We are sending the results. You have
so there's flow of communication.
Yeah, and you are in your safe place when you are talking to doctor. You are in your room, in the place that you know, and you have enough time to do this consultation. There's no hurry. There is now no one in the other side of doors waiting for her consultation. it's just you and your doctor. And it helps patient to be open and to tell the truth, because it's...
Patients lie.
Yeah, it is. But when people see it's in their advantage to tell the truth and to tell about their eating habits, that there won't be any judge. And after, if I hit the microphone, after even first week or weeks, they see first results. It's good for them. It's like a mobilization to do more, to maybe change something more in lifestyle habits. And obesity, like pharmacology, no, how to say it correctly? Meds for obesity. They are connected like with Kim Kardashian treating her obesity. Oh, he's not obese. She's not obese. To
start with.
Yeah. So it, like all pharmacology, it is good in a for certain kind of people
who are indeed overweight, whose BMI is what, over 30 then, or
obese starts over 30, and overweight it's a bit less. But to be honest, you can start obesity treatment when you're more than 27 and a half, and you have some trouble with health.
Like hormones?
Like, for example, troubles that is connected with your too high...
rate of obesity?
With your too... how to...
Co chcemy powiedzieć?
No, za duża masa ciała.
Mass weight, no?
Okay, maybe. So you could start treatment a bit faster. You don't have to wait
for that magical number
for obesity. If you have troubles earlier, for example, too high blood tension, for example, problems with insulin, problems with even having kids. So,
because it's related, right? Being obese and having problems with kids as well.
Yeah. Sometimes in media there's this. It's called like Ozempic babies, because women who at first were have obesity illness, and they couldn't become pregnant.
Yeah.
And after treatment they are, and it's due to the treatment to correct weight. So it's not harmful for babies. It's just kind of curing. Because as we told previously, we have epidemic of obesity and also epidemic with troubles with having
pregnant.
kids.
Yeah, and it's all related also.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and also mental health problems are connected with obesity, and there is many patients with obesity have some kind of troubles.
Mental troubles.
Yeah.
That's why you also offer this holistic thing, right?
Yeah,
that you have psychologists.
It is, because if you won't take care of that kind of trouble, the obesity will
come back or return. Or...
Yeah, it is.
But it's also, I think, coming back to what you do, right? To the Zapytaj lekarza, it's the mutual relationship. So the patient opens up because he or she is in a comfortable space, their space, but the doctors also need to know how to talk to patients.
And doctors are in their comfortable space also.
So they feel at ease, they feel good. Partnerem podcastu jest Tutlo, szkoła angielskiego online, która tak jak ja pomaga przełamywać bariery w mówieniu.
They feel good, they are not stressed, they have time, they are sitting in their sometimes doctor's office, sometimes home with cup of tea, and they are relaxed. They have time for patient. They don't have to hurry. It's like completely different world. Yeah.
Right? You have, is it like 1 hour time slots, half an hour time slots?
It depends of...
but it's more than 5 minutes, no?
Yeah, definitely. It depends of kind of consultation and if it's first, because first it's longer, or the later one.
It takes time. Look, last bit of an interview. I'm having a really good time here. I'm really enjoying this talk. You've been featured in Forbes 30 under 30.
I was, but now I'm over 30, so I'm not sure if it's matter.
It does matter, definitely. You're a very modest person, but take it as a compliment. It does matter. How does it feel to receive such an honorable award?
It was the greatest honor for me. And before the Forbes, I was I have some few other awards, but this one make me feel okay. I did it. Now I could do something else. It's done. It was the most important award for me ever.
You know why I'm saying about this? Because I see connection. I see you as a businesswoman, as a person with this entrepreneurial mindset, and you show it through what you did. You were part of a system, right? You found some inefficiencies, something that didn't work, and you made it work.
There is no obesity treatment in public sector right now. There is no place. The patients have nowhere to go. Some GPs...
So they're left alone.
Yeah, some GPs are capable to do that, but working as a GP means that you have to be fast.
There's pressure, right?
Yeah, in my opinion, you haven't enough time to do this
correctly,
yeah.
Because it takes time, as we said.
So for patients... There's no place. Zapytaj lekarza.
You're left alone. Or with help of private institutions. It shouldn't be the case, though. I don't want to say... What I'm saying is I'm glad you're doing it. But look,
there is one kind of help for patient, because and it's important, the bariatric surgery. And this is on public sector. And this worked very well. But
this is surgery.
Yeah, but this is surgery. And some patients have to pick. If they are obese, they have really big problems with not only appearance, but all health. And they have to pick. If they will pick, they could pick surgery that is free for them, or treating in less invasive way, just pharmacology treatment, but you have to pay for it.
Yeah. Sometimes you are left in this position.
Yeah.
You have to choose the first one.
Yeah.
But it's not always the best option to choose.
It depends. It depends of the patient, of what cost the obesity, of the level of obesity. But nowadays we have so powerful meds that is compared with... The results are compared with surgery.
Yeah. But this is it. I mean, there's one way in public to do it. No other ways. Otherwise, you gotta pay. And I'm happy. It's becoming possible.
And
but
nowadays,
it shouldn't be just the case.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, but we are in very hard position, because there is so many patients with problems with obesity, that it will be for our government very expensive to start to treat them. And I think they are even, we could say, afraid
of that.
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Because it's very big expense. We are in very, it's hard. We are in moment that the obesity epidemic is like thriving so fast.
Yeah.
So you have a really huge, you have
to act now.
You have to act now, and it is important to act now and to do something, because we can't afford for non-treating the obesity, because it will have huge problems in the future.
Yeah.
But also, it's hard to act because our government
doesn't act.
Yeah, and doesn't have money for that.
Look, last question I have is the following. I don't want to say trick the system, but you exited the system. You decided, I don't want to be part of this circus that's going on. I want to do it my own. I found
this time.
But I'm sure you must have experienced some criticism coming from the doctors within public hospitals.
Yeah, I had some.
Have you how do you
from
respond
patients,
to that?
from doctors? I did my best, and if I think that if I want to change something, I have to do it in different way, because making if we can't change anything, and if we will make everything in the same way all the time,
you need to break the scheme.
Yeah, it's like it's the way with no exit. It's impossible to do and behave exactly as the others and make a change. No, if you want to make a change, you have to
have the courage to do it, and you did have a courage. And I speak for myself and for hundreds of thousands of people. Let's put it out there, because it's not a hope; it's a fact. We're gonna be wrapping up, and I would like you to give us last piece of advice. I always ask about it. In the end, you do whatever you want to do. We talked about many things, huh?
Yeah. Mental health, obesity.
What would you say to someone watching us now? Just to end it with a positive note, maybe, or realistic. I don't know. You do what you want to do with it.
Oh, God.
The floor is yours.
It's like a moment that you could speak everything to the world.
I know.
And you don't know what is important. Like, for me, I will tell the same that I am telling my patients. So if you have trouble, the hardest is to make first step. Later, everything after the first step will be easier. So
just make that first.
Make that first step, or tell someone from your families to help you make the first step.
And then naturally, you will find a way.
Yeah.
Or someone will help you find a way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Poradziliśmy sobie. It's been a pleasure.
Ledwo.
Damy radę. Było super.